We've often heard that masturbation is considered completely normal, but to what extent? How frequently can one engage in this activity without it being classified as an addiction? And what if you find yourself unable to stop? In this video, we'll explore these questions and discuss why it might be wise to reconsider this habit, which may seem harmless but carries hidden risks for your life. Before we dive in, I want to apologize for the exaggerated cover image. It was necessary to grab your attention on this significant issue that weakens and harms many young people and adults today, stripping us of our willpower. In this video, you'll gain an understanding of what happens to our brains from both scientific and philosophical perspectives, and what Stoicism can teach us about overcoming this vice. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our content. Now let's begin. Modern medicine generally agrees that masturbation is completely normal, not just in humans but also observed in dogs and other mammals. However, this acceptance of masturbation as normal is relatively recent. In the past, particularly for men, masturbation was seen as immoral because it was believed that wasting seed prevented reproduction. For women, it was thought that masturbation could drive them away from men by allowing them to find pleasure on their own, without male involvement. Along with this moral condemnation, there was also a belief that masturbation could cause physical illnesses, making it something to be avoided entirely. But let's bring our focus back to the present. What do we now understand about masturbation, especially for men who suffer from insomnia? We know that masturbation can help induce sleep. According to research from the French Institute of Health and Medical Research, after orgasm, the male brain deactivates sexual desire. The cerebral cortex, the area responsible for conscious thought, takes a rest once climax is reached. This, along with the suppression of the desire to continue sexual activity, makes sleep easier. That's why many men tend to fall asleep after sexual activity. So what's the issue? The problem lies in one of the benefits. It can be a trap. If you follow this channel, you might already know what I'm talking about. Masturbation triggers the release of dopamine in the brain, a hormone that makes us feel better, reduces stress, and provides a sense of relief and reward. This pleasurable effect is so strong that some people become addicted. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM, includes hypersexuality disorder, which can involve excessive masturbation, under the category of obsessive-compulsive disorders. This can lead to mental and familial destruction in many cases, as individuals lose control and become enslaved to their own desires. This loss of control can push individuals towards risky behaviors, like seeking out prostitutes, engaging in sex with multiple partners, or excessive consumption of pornography. Always the brain, saturated with dopamine, seeks to maintain its pleasure. Addiction to masturbation stems from these chemicals released in the brain. As the brain adapts to this release, it starts craving more dopamine to achieve the same level of pleasure it felt the first time, leading to a cycle where the person constantly seeks to masturbate again. Eventually, this reaches a point where the brain, recognizing the excessive release of dopamine, begins to block receptors in an attempt to stop the behavior. As a result, the person may continue the act of masturbating but no longer finds it satisfying, leading to frustration and a deeper cycle of compulsive behavior. You might now be wondering what all this has to do with Stoicism. The Stoics, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, were masters of self-control and wisdom, and they had a unique perspective on pleasure and lust. From the teachings of Epicurus to the intimate reflections of Seneca, they explored the depths of human passions, a legacy that still resonates today. For the Stoics, masturbation was not merely a quest for physical satisfaction but an opportunity to explore the limits of both body and mind. They saw it as a way to develop self-awareness and achieve true freedom. In their philosophy, mastering worldly passions and pleasures was seen as a path to elevating the human spirit. Epicurus, for instance, argued that true distinction comes not from indulging in nights of pleasure but from exercising self-control. In this context, the ability to enjoy pleasure while keeping it in check is what sets apart a person who has attained a higher level of self-awareness. Instead of being slaves to our desires, the Stoics believed we should be their masters, as Seneca often reminded us. Stoic reflection on masturbation is not about repression but about deep understanding and self-mastery. It's about learning to channel our emotions in a conscious and constructive way. From the Stoic viewpoint, every action has consequences, not just for us but for the natural order of the universe. When we give in to our most intense desires, as with uncontrolled masturbation, we lose the harmonious connection with nature that the Stoics held in high regard. We become prisoners of our desires, moving further away from true inner serenity. Compulsive masturbation can create an emotional whirlwind within us, where guilt, shame, and dissatisfaction become constant companions. The Stoics teach us to control these intense emotions through introspection and self-regulation. By consciously facing our emotions, we learn to manage them in a healthy and constructive way. However, the Stoics also encourage us to find inner peace within ourselves. True satisfaction lies in self-mastery and the ability to find joy in simplicity and virtue. Allow me to share a personal story that I find inspirational. I know someone who once struggled with compulsive masturbation, seeking momentary pleasure but facing emotional turmoil afterward. By immersing themselves in Stoic teachings and practicing self-control and self-regulation, this person experienced a profound transformation. They learned to confront their desires and emotions with awareness and found true joy in self-control. Today, they live a life of inner peace and authenticity, free from the slavery of fleeting desires. True satisfaction comes from living in alignment with our deepest principles and values. When we give in to fleeting desires, we lose sight of what truly matters in life. Compulsive masturbation can divert us from our noblest goals and steer us away from the true happiness found in virtue and inner peace. By practicing meditation and mindfulness, we can cultivate the mental serenity needed to resist temptations and manage our emotions in a healthy way. This compulsion becomes an obstacle to mental tranquility, dragging us into regret and moving us away from the peaceful state found in self-control and moderation. So, my friend, ask yourself, what are you doing with your life? Do you really believe that sitting at home, watching those videos, and seeking pleasure with your hands will make you confident or successful? Do you think that after wasting your time and energy on such activities, you'll be able to attract women? Or if you're a woman, attract men? The answer is no, never. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.